Okay, guys. Good morning. Good morning. I know it's been a little bit since I put one of these together, but um, it's been an interesting couple of weeks. So let's talk about the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar is doing sort of an interesting correction here. I'm not really liking the entire structure of this, to be perfectly honest. Uh, it's kind of making an extended double here, or a complex correction, as some would call it. Really, all we need is about one swing lower to the downside here, um, which could end somewhere right in here, probably. Um, we just need about one swing lower in the 108 range to make 7 swings from the high. And once we get 7 swings from the connector here, we should find a completion somewhere down in the zone. Okay. So that's what I'll be definitely looking for on USDX as the last little bit of decline before USDX really takes off and flies. It just depends on how much of a retracement we get here. You know, this is going to push us down in Bitcoin, of course, which I think is what we're going to see this today, right? And then when we get the last push, when we get the last push, down in USDX, this decline here, this decline is going to give us this nice little pop, right? So what happened overall? Because, this, yeah, sure, it looks like this, but what a lot of guys don't realize is that this all happened, and it was just this. Okay, there was nothing really happening with Bitcoin. There was a major exchange that FTX getting liquidated, and basically, it's just crazy business stuff, right? Getting liquidated and bought back by a competitor. And so here's the decline of the exchange, basically, because the way we were projected, we should have seen higher prices. You see my red here? We should have seen higher prices to here. We were going to bounce this zone here. We should have come back up and out. And this little block right here is what started it all. So, a little bit of sell-off, some news, and then, reaching down into the zone, people like, okay, we're fine. And we tried to get bullish again. And then that's when the exchange started to really sell off. And somewhere in here, there was a big liquidation, like right in here. There was a big liquidation. Someone who was holding the natural token of FTX. When Bitcoin was declining in price, it was taking FTT with it. And here, let me pull up FTT so I can show everybody. They took FTT with it. FTT, USDT. And yeah, I mean, come on, guys. Like, seriously. Here, let's go to the daily. There you go. Luna 2.0. I mean, I'm sorry, but it is. So there was someone who had an average of like 7.2, I think. And they had about 1 billion tokens at 7.2. And so they're completely liquidated here. And then I think there's a few other positions, if I'm not mistaken, and this is why it bounced. But there's a few other positions here. This was one of the big boys, of course. He's been completely liquidated on 1 billion FTT tokens. So we're waiting for this zone here for anybody that's been watching this. So anyways, when this happened, of course, they have to sell off their other assets to try and maintain the price, right? So what happens is, selling off other assets like Sol and a few others, and it translates into Bitcoin. As a matter of fact, show you guys something really interesting. was talking to some guys the other day about this reaction here in the global markets is this right here. Bitcoin actually moved the global markets on this push right here. That's why you see this crazy like wick down and then it stabilized again, right? That was the Bitcoin crash. So it was kind of the shot heard around the world what happened. So unfortunately, it was nothing that we could really do to like, I know we were talking about higher prices for a long time, and I wish we would have seen these higher prices. But I will say this, this drop gives us great confirmation that we're going to go down, right? And so we can easily wait for this pullback here because we're going to get a 3 waves pullback in Bitcoin, okay? So we'll get this 3 waves like this. And on this 3 waves pullback, we can target a zone here. And when we target that zone, right, then it'll be super easy for us to take a short. And that is going to be a banger short, right? We're going to get down to like 15K with it from like 19.9. So, I mean, whatever. Like we missed like 21.5 or, it's a little bit of a price. So we missed a little bit of this, but, we didn't snipe the top, and I got shook out up here because we did short this, if you guys remember. I got shook out up here. But we were supposed to go one more. Okay. This was all just a news driven factor. This was not something that was predictable. It's not something that TA could shed light on. So I'm really sorry that we exited here, guys. I do apologize 100%. I wish we would have, stayed in this because we would just be looking at closing our complete position down here. So I do apologize, but I did yesterday call short on ETH. I would like to see a return to this zone. I may actually cancel this. We did scalp a BTC short from like 18.3 or so. We took one profit. The next profit's down at like 17.050. So we're getting close. So let's talk about the indices short term, guys. So the biggest thing is that ES has decided, and I've cleared off a bunch of stuff. Well, not quite a bunch of stuff, but I tried. This X needs to go here. This W here. And I'm going to show you guys some really crazy shit. Actually, that one's no longer valid. I'm going to show you guys some really crazy shit. Okay. So check it out, right? I mean, this is really a very peculiar play because sorry, that was right. A, B, C. We have an expanded flat within the X wave of a complex correction. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we are making an undeniable diagonal. If you guys can spot this from a mile away, maybe, I don't know, maybe. But the chances are that because there was no sequence there, chances are that with this diagonal, that we are, and this is just a proposed idea, okay, that with this diagonal, we are making another corrective sequence. Let's call it like it is. Okay. Here, let me put the diagonal in for all you guys that are like, what the hell is a diagonal text? Okay. There's your diagonal. Right. And so you have bing, 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 bing. It's a pinball machine, right? Keeps it all in a tight spot. And then you get your dropout and a pew, right? counter trend from a diagonal. So, and we're going to get a sort of ABC here. Yes. Okay. And actually, if you wanted to, you could call this like, we're going to do something like this. Okay. It's going to be like a really interesting play. Oops. So I haven't quite fished out all of these targets yet. But this is just going to be an extended A, basically, because of the diagonal leading into it. And then we'll get a nice 3-wave down here, right? And let's see. Yeah, that's about right. There you go. That was close. Right? So, something like this, I would expect. You know, we talked about these zones of liquidity before. You know, and getting these big reactions, right? Because we finally broke through. Rejection, rejection, rejection. And we're going to try one last time, and then it's going to be big doom. Okay? That's also why I have this, you know, rejection charted. So it's just going to try to get in the zone and reject several times before we get the big doom, as we say. So, yeah, I mean, it just, you know, overall, like, what are we doing? Yes, right? Like, I'm really looking at this zone for a short. You know, nothing official yet, but I really like this zone. You can see I was kind of playing around with this because we could have a really tight stop loss here and be looking at like a really, really, really major drop. So if it all plays out correctly, then this guy should go to like 3,100. And that's a 23% drop with an RR of 10.6. You know what I mean? Like, put that at 100x. You know, just saying. That's a big drop. So, I'll call that play when it comes time. So we're not quite there yet. Getting nice reactions from our long zone here on USD SGD. Unfortunately, guys, I will say that we have a very unfortunate scenario here. Okay. And the unfortunate scenario is that I believe that was the end of 3. And this is only going to be the end of 4. And so what we're going to end up having here is, and this does suck for us, but I think all we're going to end up having here is a 3 waves pullback like this. And it's not even going to get that high. I think it's only going to be to about there. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken. Like right in here. Okay. So we are going to get a nice reaction from our zone, but we're going to full close here. And we're going to wait for another drop. And we'll be looking at taking longs in the zone. The wave just extended itself out a little bit more. It was unexpected, and I do apologize for that. So, anyways, Bitcoin, what are you doing? What are you doing, dog? What are you doing? Here's one that I really like. This is a play that we're calling right now, the Hang Seng. We've been thinking for quite some time that the Hang Seng was going to make one more little marginal high here. But, you know, Hang Seng on the weekly is in a really, like, a major buy zone, okay? And so, you know, yeah, I mean, do I have the Hang Seng charted to go a little bit more down? Absolutely, okay? There's no denying that. But like, how much farther is it going to go down? Yeah, you know, there's a lot of like I think that we could see as low as like 12K, 11.5 on Hang Seng. Just depends on your school of thought with this guy. Really, like, let's go to the 4 hour here. There's this big drop here, right? Kind of gives us the indication that we're dropping into an impulse wave, and so with that indication of a drop into an impulse, there's a chance that we do something like this, and then we can take this fifth wave like down here, right? So on the weekly, it would look like this, right? So for now, I really like this short here. Like I said, we were expecting a little bit more. I wanted to get one more new high out of this, but this rejection of the high on the weekly, right? I mean, that was great. Like weekly rejection. I'm sorry, 4 hour rejection. Excuse me. Sorry. I don't know why I've been saying weekly. 4 hour rejection. Back down into the zone, breaking previous lows. Good for a short, right? So we're short. Called it, and we're currently in it. This is going to be the first trade. We'll get a return back to this zone with a stop loss in the same spot. So we'll get 2 chances to short this zone and reject down and get to the downside. So, other than that, guys, I mean, it's really just some simple stuff right now. Trying to let USDX do its thing, so we can get some more plays out of cryptos and some of the indices. Lots of big moves gave us lots of time to make some money. So should be a fun day. Oh, NQ, I skipped over NQ. I'm sorry, my bad, G. I do apologize. So remember when we were doing some live the other day and I said the NQ shouldn't have breached the 618? That was based on some previous wave counts, right? Okay. So I'm glad we can agree on that. Thank you. Here, let's get rid of this. So, yes, NQ bear sequence begin. Oh my, I didn't mean to do that. So, still feeling good about the A and the B in place here. Okay, I still like that. That's good. The thing is this impulse. So I'm really leaning towards this being like the start of a bigger impulse, and that this is actually another impulse within here, right? Or I'm sorry. And now we're going to get something like this. And then this is actually... Sorry, let me change this color, because I know when I do this it gets really confusing. Just give me a second and it will all make sense, I promise. And I think we're just going to keep impulsing and rejecting MAs. And more than likely, I know you guys are going to hate me for this, but you know I do it a lot. It's probably going to be one of these in here. Actually, let's make that one yellow. I like that yellow. There you go. Right. We're just going to get a lot of this. We're going to get one decent drop somewhere in here, maybe 2. But for the most part, it's just going to blah, 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 and nest out, in my opinion. But I'm going to get rid of a lot of these internals for now. Let's just leave the... I just like... When these things get to really starting to make a bunch of impulses, I don't try to like guess each individual little piece of it. But I will say that for now, I do believe NQ is done. the here, this one, this impulse wave. I believe we are beginning now, and somewhere around like 10-7 ish should be the beginning of wave one. And the reasoning for that is because we have an internal. There you go. So we're already starting an internal. I'm probably going to get a decent amount of pullback here, you know, somewhere back to like the half fib, so about a 50% retracement, and then a 345 out of this, right? Which would put this guy down here, and that's totally fine because the inverse of this one is actually down in the zone anyways, right? So not that big of a deal. And if we do this, I mean, you can see it all works out. So that being said, I think these are our next moves on the NQs. You really could short here and just probably ride it all the way on NQ if you wanted to, or you can wait for this pullback here in 3 waves or 3 or 7 swings and short this and just let it run. ES, like I said, I mean, for now, ES is just, it's going to see chop. I might try to take a long on ES up here, see how that plays out. Haven't decided yet. Shorting Hang Seng, long here. We're finally getting up and out of our zone in our longs, which is amazing. I'm really thankful for that. Let me see. How's our long looking? Because of where we had to buy it at, we're still actually 1.68% on 50x back. So, which is not bad. Yeah, I mean, dude, I was buying down here, and the exchange was giving me entries up here, so it's really kind of doo-doo-y. But it's okay. We'll survive. We'll get this nice reaction here, and we'll close our longs up here somewhere. It'll be a good introduction to Forex for us. And then we'll take some bigger longs down here. I just kind of wanted to see how it's going to react, what kind of profits we make, what moves I need to look for so I can make better calls for you guys. So USDX, again, just looking for these 7 swings here. Need 7 swings from the X connector to complete the downside sequence. Then massive rally for USDX begins. Major decline of indices and cryptos. Here, I'm going to make this even bigger so you guys can see this. Okay, there. This is huge. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. That's what we need. Just FYI. There's your swings. So, as soon as we get this reaction, right, that's when we see our little bit of a rally in the cryptos, more than likely. See a little rally, okay? And little relief rally, I guess. And that's going to give us, what we're looking at as this wave 2 here for that 7th swing. We'll get the relief rally, and then it's just going to be major doom. So, anyways, want to give a big shout out to Kitty Server, Good Vibes Trading. Those guys are always awesome, always on point. If you guys haven't checked out Kitty Server, please do. It's an amazing group of guys. Everybody's there to try to help each other, And so I just wanted to give a shout out to his server, man. There's a lot of good information there, and you can learn a lot of stuff from those guys. So that's not a paid advertisement, but I just wanted you guys to check it out. So appreciate everybody checking in, man. We'll see you guys.